So what's a semi-referral? Hi, this is Chris Bowers with the Bowers team, eXp Realty. And a semi-referral is a text message that we get from a client, which we get all the time, that says, hey, Chris, just want to let you know I gave your number to a coworker. They want to buy a house. Now, most people would just get that message and say, hey, thank you so much, and go from there. We call this a semi-referral for a reason. It's when somebody doesn't give you all the contact information for the person that they're referring. So it's a semi-referral. So what we do is, and I get these all the time, is it's usually a text message from a client or a past client that says, hey, Chris, my manager at work wants to buy a house and I gave him your card or I gave him your number. I do a two-step approach, and I clearly do it 2 steps for a reason. One is I text them and say, thank you so much for thinking of me. I look forward to working with them. It's people like you that keep me in business, and I'll always remember that. I leave the thank you right there. And I leave the text from there, and I just say, thank you and I appreciate you is basically what I'm trying to do. They say, you're welcome. I always refer you, something like that. Then what I want you to do is give that about 10 to 20 minutes. Just let that sit with a thank you. Then about 10, 20 minutes later, I want you to text them back and say, hey, would you mind giving me this person's contact information, or would you mind sharing the contact information with you? Most people are timid and don't like to make the initial contact. So what I'll do is, if you can give me their number, I'll do a soft intro where I introduce myself. I say it just like that, but it's almost the same thing every time. Hey, Josh, thank you so much for the referral. Would you mind sharing that contact information with me? Most people won't make the initial contact, I've found. So if you can give me their number, I'll send them a soft intro and introduce myself so we can start the conversation. And then 9 out of 10 times, you're going to get a shared contact to you with their name and their number. But what I want to note is, do those separately, those text messages. I don't really like to do the, hey, thank you. Thank you so much for thinking of me. Can I get their contact information? It's a thank you, and you're like, hey, give that information to me. Leave those separate. It's a thank you. And then 10, 20 minutes later, then it's a, hey, would you share their contact information with me? And I go for I tell them why. It's, hey, I know that people are timid and won't usually make the initial contact. So I'll make a soft introduction so we can start the conversation. You'll find out that you'll get a ton of people who just share the number. Now, if you do it the other way and just say thank you, and then you keep going on with your busy day, you're going to realize by the end of the year that you've missed out on a lot of opportunity. And how I know that is because we get a lot of these, what we call semi-referrals. And so also what we do is, when a referral comes in via text like that, or email or Facebook or Instagram, we put that on a spreadsheet instantly. And it's the date, it's the person that referred us the business, whether they're a buyer or seller, and the name of the person they referred. And if they didn't give us a name, then we just leave that unknown for now. And then there will be times where someone will say, hey, do you know what? I'm going to ask them if they can, if I have permission to give the number. And in that situation, lay low and just say, hey, I totally understand. Thank you. But when it's on your spreadsheet, you'll remember that in a week, if you haven't heard from this person, you could follow back up with them and say, hey, I never heard from that person. Is there a better way to get in contact with them? The goal of this is to take this very seriously and make sure that you have a system for all the referrals that you're getting. So if you have any questions on how to do this, reach out to me at the number below, and I'll be happy to help.